Well, I couldn't get to sleep, so I thought I'd make a video. I've been sort of on a kick over this past week of accepting the things I cannot change. Part of that whole serenity prayer thing, Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And, I'm not going to change politicians. I can change maybe the minds of individuals if I talk about things the right way and mention the right things and get people to get people to have realizations in some way. But I'm not going to change politicians. I mean, nothing I say is going to get to politicians to get them to change. That's just not going to happen. Getting upset over politicians seems kind of stupid. And I've done a lot of that over the years. I've mellowed out compared to what I used to be. But I mean, as George Carlin has said, it's a big club and you're not in it. And that's true. There's really no point in me getting really upset over the things that politicians do and say. The lies. The fact that they cater to the special interest groups and not the actual people. I mean, even people like Mamdani, who campaigned under, being for the people, isn't going to really be for the people. He'll probably try to implement some of the more stupid things that he's said. Like, decriminalizing some things that should be crimes. Maybe taking some people out of prison who should be in prison. I'm sure he'll try to do some of those things. He might get stopped. But there's nothing I can do about it, and I don't live in New York, so. And there's a lot of stupid things Trump says and does. And I guess I could get upset over it. But there's nothing I can do about it. No amount of, I'm not going to answer that. No amount, in fact, I'm going to turn the phone on, that's someone that someone who wants me to send them more and more pictures of me putting my fists in front of me for some reason. They've got some sort of fetish, so whatever. But there's no point in me getting upset over the things that Trump does, because no amount of No King's protests is going to change anything that he does or says. It's just not going to do anything. It would take a radical movement with probably some violence. And it couldn't be just geared towards one side or the other. It would have to be, a class kind of war of some sort. And it would probably take the citizens becoming violent in order for the government to actually be scared of the people. And that's not going to happen. People get, to make a bad pun, they get shot down whenever they suggest such things. So none of that's going to change. And some people might say, oh, well, you're more negative now than ever. And I'm like, no, I just accept what I can't change. I'm not going to get angry over all this stuff. because I can't change it. I'm not going to fill my emotions with hate. I'm not going to fill my emotions with hate. That's a weird way of wording it. But I'm not going to fill my mind with hate over this stuff. I can be a little bit frustrated that there are some people who really believe that politicians are going to be for the little guy. And this goes for Trump supporters as well as, Mom Donnie supporters and other Democratic or leftist politicians. It's just that they're, I can be a little frustrated with the people who actually believe those politicians are going to be for us. I can be upset with, the ignorance, sometimes the stupidity, and I can be upset with how many people are brainwashed. But is getting upset over that really helpful either? Not really. I'm certainly not going to change those people's minds. People who put that much faith into politicians, it's not something that I can do anything about. So, yeah, accepting the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah. I don't know how many more videos I'm going to make about being upset over things that politicians are doing. There's a lot to dislike about Trump. There really is. I mean, one of his new things is pushing to stop immigration, to permanently pause, which is just those two words don't go together. Permanently pause, well, that means stop. But permanently pause immigration from third world countries, right? And that seems really, really like a bad idea. If people are coming here legally, I don't see why that should be the policy, but should I get upset over it? Should I fill myself with hate over it? Should I bother trying to talk with Trump supporters who just eat up everything that he does and says, and they make excuses for all of it? Why? What am I going to do about it? People who are that brainwashed are not going to change their minds based off of some video. Oh, look, this guy said bad things about Trump. I've changed my mind now. No, that's not going to happen. So, I'm probably going to change gears. I've already started changing gears. And not getting upset over this stuff. Focusing more on photography, walking videos. Maybe I'll focus more on music. Something I'd really love to get are some better VST instruments. I hear so much new music, and I hear the programs that people use. It's like, yeah, but you still have to get the digital instruments of some sort, and where are they getting them? So I need to find out more about that. Maybe they're not VSTs. Maybe they're other formats that I can't use in the software that I'm using. So I need to look more into that. Focus on the beauty of the world that's still there, that still exists. You just have to be looking for it. Those are things I can change. Those are things I can do. Those are things I can focus on and share with people in a way that that can spread joy in some way. I'm not saying that I'll never make political videos, because I'm sure there will still be some things that end up pissing me off or whatever. I can't completely change that. But I imagine I'll be making far less of that kind of content. Because I accept the things I can't change. I may not be religious, but the serenity prayer is a really good thing. You don't have to ask it from God. You can just ask it of yourself. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I ask that of myself. Doesn't have to be asked of a higher power. Anyway, I'm repeating myself. Just saying.